Welcome to Fit Club Vegas, the ultimate fitness destination for visitors. Drop in for a day pass and experience our 10,000 square foot fitness playground. At Fit Club, you'll find state-of-the-art equipment and a sound system so good you'll pitch your headphones. Conveniently located 7 to 12 minutes from the Las Vegas Strip, Fit Club is a perfect spot for you to come get your pump while visiting Sin City. So come check us out at 4525 West Hacienda, Las Vegas, Nevada. Fit Club Vegas, more than a gym, it's a vibe.
Pacific West Injury Law. Injured? Call 602-HURT. Car accident? Call 602-HURT. Our firm is dedicated to you and your recovery.
All right.
Hey, why are you clowning my hair?
Because are you president of the hair club, man?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The difference is everyone's getting hair transplants now, and they got that straight line across their head. I wish they would just remove it so I don't have to shave it
Yeah,
again.
you say you don't let it grow. You have nothing to grow there.
How do you know?
Bald.
Do you have proof?
Yeah,
No,
absolutely.
you don't.
The red hat, even when you're sleeping, is a proof.
Listen,
You know?
there's no
Look at
there's
that.
no evidence.
61-year-old man, you know.
That means you took fake gear your whole life. Mine was real.
You know, they say, how come your voice didn't change and become manly? Like, God damn.
Has it been the same pretty much the whole time?
Yeah.
You ever notice, like, when you were in the 20s, it was different?
What, my
voice.
My voice? I actually thought I had a deeper voice. It pisses me off. Really.
Why don't you take some androgens?
Like I didn't. I'm accused of taking trend right now. Oh, it's Monday. I'm supposed to do my TRT today. Yeah. And I didn't have a chance to take a day radic last night. Yeah.
Are you training or what? Tell me what's...
No, I did send you the message. Okay. And I'm going to have to read it because it's really disturbing.
You have a lot of
I did my MRI of my right hip.
This is the whole thing. You knew the hip was bad, and I think you just kept pushing it.
You said yourself at UFC that day when I was walking, it's like, when are you going to have a surgery? I said, what do you mean? I said, your hip is gone. So you noticed the way I compensate, the way I walk. The problem is when you get old, you think, okay, it's not so bad. I can get away with it. I can get away with it. It gets worse and worse and worse. So right now, labral tear, high-grade diffuse, bone marrow edema, cyst formation, osteophyte formation, severe osteoarthritis, degeneration, chronic joint stress, high-grade cartilage loss, chondral thinning, and effusion. And then on top of it, a week ago, I got 2 muscle tears. It's rectus femoris and abductor. I cannot move. I cannot function. And these suckers are involved in any hip flexion. And
It's hard getting in and out of the car and everything.
Possible.
You know what this means? No taps for Milos.
What?
No taps.
No what?
No taps.
What are you doing in tabs?
Tell him, Dave.
No bedroom activities.
Oh, that's tiring. Listen, occasionally, you know, I would surprise Betty and move. I usually just lay there. You know, that's how.
Oh, how exciting!
I don't know if
How exciting.
I don't know if the audience wanted to hear that.
I'm just kidding. You know, I'm an animal.
So the big question is, of that list of things there,
Yeah.
is there more things right with your hip or wrong with your hip?
I don't think there's anything right with my hip. Seriously.
So you
it's
just
gone.
need, so
I'm
essentially,
going to have to have a surgery.
all of that, do you need like a hip replacement?
Yeah, like 3 years ago. And then, you know, people, when you try to get away with it and you're at this age, it's not going to get any better.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm sure once it's done in your
And
field, you'll be glad you did
you
it.
compensate with everything else, and then left knee is gone. I have to have a meniscus replacement over there, repair. The right knee started hurting. My lumbar spine is gone. So, what did he say? I'm good. What did he say? I'm gone. What did you say today?
You're broken.
Broken.
Oh, you said you're broke.
Yeah, you're broken badly. But this is a problem if you don't have preventative maintenance, because that's what's going to happen. You're going to have to do one hip, then do the other hip.
Yeah. So listen.
And the other knee is going to need to be done because of the compensation. But the problem is a lot of people have to take the downtime, and you have to learn how to do that.
it's amazing that you never had any serious injury. And
Still young enough,
51. 10 o'clock at night, Sunday, he's texting me from the gym. Hey, Jim is dead. Like, wow, nobody is there 10 o'clock at night on Sunday?
At a gym that's
Yeah.
easy to be good.
Like, only lunatics go to the gym at that time. And then, and maybe Mr. Olympia, so he had a pass. And what did he do? Legs, 10 o'clock at night.
You know what, though? Just thinking about this reminds me of our conversation last night. We were talking about, so Halliburton got hurt in the finals. And he said, why are so many guys getting massive injuries at a young age, where it didn't happen 20 or 30 years ago? And we used, like, Jay never had any major, like, injuries. But then I mentioned, look at LeBron James. But for 20 years, he has followed a blueprint and done his maintenance every single day, no days off. And there has to be.
I just think the game's faster now, though, too.
Yeah.
And I think they're playing a lot more.
The guys are bigger. They're playing. Think about it. Halliburton played in the Olympics, and then you play in the season, and the off season they're playing.
And they're raising the bar so much that at off season they're training nonstop, they're shooting 1,000 baskets a day or whatever they're training.
What do you?
It's just physical.
Is there something in general? Do you think there's a reason that more people get massive injuries now? I had a
Achilles
theory.
tendon is what he's talking about.
I had a theory, and let me just say this, and I could be completely off.
Yeah.
In the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, we didn't have all this genetically altered shit in our foods. Mm-hmm. And that, I think, could have something to do with it if you're getting proper nutrition. And if you're not getting proper nutrition, can't that make you susceptible to getting more injuries?
I didn't think about it, but it's possible, of course. It just, everything is nutrition. It is, you are what you eat. You have to put, I'm always pissed off at people when they're counting calories and all this shit. What calories do? Burn. You don't need energy calories. You need building tissue, muscle, organs, enzymes, hormones, type of nutrients, amino acids from a healthy protein. It's not that you say it's genetically modified. It could affect it. God knows.
So think about yourself. When's the last time you took a whole day and just ate where you didn't eat healthy?
Listen, you guys.
Teenager?
Yeah, probably when I was doing concrete.
Because even now, even if you have a slice of pizza all day, you ate healthy. Or if you have a burger, you're still eating chicken and rice in the same breakfast.
I don't have a day that I do that. It's only in like opportune times that I feel I need to eat just to put something in my stomach, right? But I mean, I have prepared meals every single day. Yeah. I just sat and ate a prepared meal.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be.
But depending on when you eat out, but when I eat out, I still try to eat out really clean. I only pick places that I can get clean stuff.
If you go to Cheesecake Factory with Jay, he gets chicken and rice. And they're like, it's not on the menu. He said, they'll make it. Go tell them. And they do. Yeah. So no matter where we go, it's the same. But that could be why he's still healthy. That's probably the main reason why he's still like this. And
you are what you eat, and I don't understand people's choices. They just
I think the training got to be smarter too. Like I don't push myself hard as far as, I just go for the pump, and pretty much I don't really care about the weights as often.
Yeah, but the athletes getting injured, I do think there is much more physical demand, much harder training nowadays, more frequent game. How many millions of games you have now? I mean,
I think with basketball in general, the guys now are dramatically bigger, stronger, and faster than they were. And that torque on the body has to look at like Zion. Look at it's not uncommon. Like back in the 80s, the biggest, baddest guys in the league were 245 pounds. Now you have guards that are 240 pounds.
I know, for example, when Vlade Divac came to play for
he
Lakers,
was a bigger guy.
He was a bigger guy. But in Europe, you don't need so much physicality and strength. So Lakers wanted to jack him up to be strong for NBA. But anyway, I had some news today this morning. It was like 11:30 over here, and by 12 noon, you're supposed to sign up for Italy show, because that's the rule, I guess. Monday by 9 p.m. in Europe, 12 o'clock noon here. And Becruz was not on the list, right? So our plan was for him to defend 2 titles, Italy and Dubai. And last time, right after the show, I talked to him. Like, his plan was to do the Italy. So I sent him a plan and everything. And Mauro Sassi calls me, hey, man, he's not on the list. Like, oh, so I panicked. And immediately I tried to make a connection. I couldn't. He's nowhere to be reached. And then I texted Tyler. And Tyler said, okay, he's competing. I'll add him. It was 30 minutes before. And then I got the message that a friend of Becruz, tried to reach me because Becruz couldn't, that he doesn't want to compete. That's why he didn't sign it. So I had to call and cancel it, okay. But the thing is, first, that right now in Dubai, the airspace is compromised.
Yes. Over Qatar, too.
Yeah, that flights are not going. But issue with Becruz that I'm devastated. I'm heartbroken for every Iranian is that things are going on there, that a lot of families are, displaced and on the streets. And that's kind of the message that he had it. First, his apartment building was evacuated. Just imagine you being in a different place and then hearing that you can't come back. He's going to be evacuated. So basically, he prefers not to compete. And I had a chance to talk to him at noon, and we agreed that he's not going to be defending his Italy title. So
that's understandable, though, because he has some real serious things in life happening now.
Unbelievable when you think about it. Even going into the show, everything was. He came to Dubai, thankfully, early enough. And then as things developed, he was learning what is happening in Iran, and it was affecting him greatly. But he pulled it off. He still looked excellent, won the show, repeated, qualified for Olympia. Now is the question, can he get a visa, which now a lot of people believe that
it's even harder.
It's going to be harder. We still hope.
What do you think?
You looked good at the show.
Yeah, going into the show, we knew that there were some big names. Now, Nathan Diasha, as you said, he won so many shows, God knows. How many? 12? Yeah. He's always competitive. He was competitive with Becruz last year in Italy. There was a battle. Nathan was looking in incredible shape going in. Did you see it? Big, full, hard, round. He has everything. So he was definitely a threat. William Boniak, let's talk about William. Jesus Christ. He keeps coming back, competing like, okay, next week, next month. Any show that is being organized, he can enter and look like this. I think he improved. He was big and full. He has this density now. Should he go for a little bit drier condition? Maybe. Knowing that Becruz usually gets dry. If strategize, maybe that was the thing to do. And when he beat Becruz once in Spain, he was really a little bit better conditioned. We were going for that full look, and he took that route. William was very deservingly second, right? Even though a lot of people saw Tonio.
Very impressive.
Very impressive, and they said, like, why they didn't compare? When I did compare, Tonio looks so impressive, okay? Surprised everyone. He looked much bigger than we thought. Even you say that he's a smaller guy. He didn't look any smaller. He didn't look small. He was standing there next to Nexila, and, didn't look like he was like 70 pounds overweight or something. But pose for pose, you could see that William is still William. William had this density and strong poses. But anyway, are we going to go? Yeah, we're going to go through the lineup.
Hey guys, Jay Cutler here. If you have not heard already, I launched my own TRT clinic. TRT Kingdom is now live. If you guys want to schedule your consultation, please click the link below and you'll get all the information you guys need for better health.
Okay, so this is first comparison. Now, wait before it started. They actually move Mohamed Foda from whatever position where William is standing right now. William was there. So it was logical William to be there like first and second with Behruz, but they move him because they get the first look at Mohamed Foda, who has a incredible shape. Everything is there, right? So they put him there. And he was very comparable and tough until he turned around. So let's look at here. Yeah. Look at just Nick Zila. Look at the size of this man.
His legs.
That's like, yeah. So I must say that Nathan lost his peak somehow, and maybe he tried to overcarb. He doesn't need to, because he's round everywhere. Chest, shoulders, arms, right? It's always round. So I don't think that he needed to go for that. William, second to the right. Classic William. Full as a house. Don't you think? That's a full for William. Behruz, we went for that drier look. He was a little flattish, to my liking, but that was the plan. To just go.
That would be the look to go for,
Yeah, it should be. Like you said, Steve Weinberger is a judge. He likes conditioning. Foda has everything. Tonya, he is bursting full. That's what I'm calling exploding full, that there's nothing else that can
Nathan out of this.
Come into the
no, they did.
muscle.
I think Nathan will pop back in. For whatever reason, I can't.
So this is the backdrop, the oxygen. Huh?
Yeah, it's same as last year. Okay. I didn't discuss the poses. Front double.
I can go back.
Yeah, go back.
It sucks Nathan's out of it there.
Yeah, Nathan front double is great. He knows very well. Little elongated torso. You can see in that pose specifically because you elongated even more by lifting arms. William front double is always good. He is not wide guy, but if you just point at arms like Jesus Christ. Behruz has that craziest V-taper. Peaking biceps, hanging triceps, wide lats into the super small waist. Crazy. I'm sure that for Olympia, he would need a little bit more volume to his quads to have that X-frame. But in person, I promise you've never seen him. When he hit that front of biceps, it's like, wow. Mohamed Foda, great. Complete. This pose is devastating for him. It's great. Tonya, too. Look at the size of the legs. Lateralis, sweep, goes everywhere. Really thick. Now when you compare him with the Nexila's legs, I didn't really put this in perspective. Tonya's legs are freaky. And look next to Nexila. Nexila just have to be ripped to the bone.
I know, but how does he do that? Because, he looked in good shape leading up to the show. Decent
shape, yeah. I would lock him up in the room and don't give him any food for 3 days.
Yeah, but you think that's just thick skin, or is he just, I feel like he looked, like I told you, I think he trained and dieted hard for this.
Okay, stop right there.
But his shape hurts him a little bit too.
Yeah, Nexila improved a little bit in the width department because he was a little bit straight up and down. Now, this looks quite good. I would, Rubiel, I would push that waist even more in.
Well, he needs to get his delts rounder. That's
rounder, a little bit more wider up top for sure. Mm-hmm. Legs, he's almost better off keeping them together, because he doesn't need to cover the whole.
Maybe you just can't separate them though.
You can put them together.
No, separate.
Separate legs.
Like if you stand, you got to really kind of figure out how to bend the knee to be able to bring.
Check out that calf. No, seriously. If anybody sees this right now on the screen, because I think this is big and we are small, right? Check out this calf. This is unimaginable. Tonya, phenomenal in this pose. Yeah, V-taper, X-frame, round shoulders.
There's a lot of argument for Tonio to possibly win this show?
Yes, some people, until you really analyze. Until they didn't really put them together initially.
They did not. And
Yeah.
That was a complaint that they...
Yeah, that was some, but then they did give them that comparison, all three of them together, and if you have that, you don't have...
That's all we have.
Yeah, and it was convincing. It was convincing. But Foda looks phenomenal in this pose. Behruz, I love his front lat spread. You were saying when I sent you those videos that that's the best lat spread.
It's obviously from this we can't tell just because
you can't tell in here
the
because
pictures you sent me, his front lat was ridiculous.
Boniek dramatically improved his front lat spread because before there was not much width, and now is I think enough width and so much density that he looks super competitive. He's not going to be as wide as the other guys. And Nathan Diasha has a great V taper. You can see here for some reason.
Yeah, it looks like for whatever reason the camera didn't show him the whole. There we go.
Okay.
And this is one of Nathan's best shots too.
Gosh, everyone looks good in this shot.
Yeah, everybody looks great in this shot. It's very debatable what you're looking at. I'm sure that the judges were right there, and there was no doubt. I mean, Behruz was winning easily, but maybe not as dominantly as some people would expect it, right? Mm-hmm. Because there was a challenge. Everybody looks great. Nexila looked probably the freakiest in this pose because of just sheer size. You can't see nothing about his waist from the side. Not too many people have a great detail on the side hamstring, right? They do, but it's not like so prominent like when you have really cuts from the front and so your legs are separated. Now they're not. He's just freaky. Tonio is compact. I still think that his delts are overpowering his chest a little bit. And he had his chest insertion a little bit, not really that bursting full. So I think that he still needs to put some size on the pecs.
He's got the crazy shoulders. That's
crazy shoulders, good arms, everything. Foda looks tremendous. And, Behruz and William. William is super competitive in side chest pose. Are you going too fast? I can't go over everybody. I'm trying to rush it. Nathan looks great, back all biceps. Everything is there. You can't really see the quality in this stream.
No, you can't.
So you're going to get a different feeling. Behruz was really peeled and dry. He was a little bit flattish, but you don't see flatness from the back, right? Mm-hmm. From the back, you could appreciate the dryness and detail and striated glutes, hamstring, and all that stuff. Boniek, back double, deadly. Here is where Foda kind of fades.
Yeah, he moved that mid back detail.
Yeah, tremendous pose for Tonio.
I think Mo improved a lot, and I mean I think this is the best Tonio we've seen.
Best Tonio by far.
Yeah,
best, biggest, perfect combination of everything. You know, he was not bone dry, not super sliced, but perfectly. And that brings that conversation. What do you go for? And we talked earlier. Hadi did not win when he was super bone dry. When you compare 2021 or 20 or 19 to 2022, he was off. Mm-hmm. But fullness made him Mr. Olympia. He won that show. Yep. So this is how you have to compromise. When I was debating here for this show, we wanted to go for dry look, mm-hmm. and maybe compromise some fullness. And I don't regret it. Of course, we won. I just wish that.
Do you feel you peaked him? I mean, how far is this off his best?
I mean, it's not, if you consider flatness as mispeaking. Usually...
It wasn't like a dramatic, just a little.
If you're spilled over, that's mispeak.
Yeah, of course it is.
If you are flatter because you're more conservative,
yes,
and you went for the dry look, right? But if you have a physique like you, that you're monster and full, you can be dry and a little flattish, it's not going to be noticed. On some guys that have some body parts that are flattish, it could be visible and can affect the placing. I don't think there was ever a doubt on Big Cruz winning this show. We went for this look. I was going to actually in Italy go for a fuller look, just to compare, prepare for the Olympia, what we need to do. But here it is. Tonio looks incredible in this pose. I don't know where does he get this width from.
Do you think he's going to be an
big
issue threat at the Olympia?
He's going to be
after looking at this, yeah.
Yeah, he's going to be a problem.
Like right around 6, 7.
Yes, he's about there right now. Possible first call out, and then when you get the first call out, sky's the limit. Then you have to prove.
Can happen.
Yeah, he doesn't have any weaknesses, and this particular pose. Look at him. I mean, he's next to Nexila, and upper body is about the same size. Jesus Christ, those legs. I can't even get over it. I didn't really pay attention so much to Nexila because I was focusing in the middle, for Big Cruz and making sure this is going the way it's supposed to. Foda needs to improve.
Watching the stream, the live, like him move on the screen, though, he actually looked in good condition, I thought, Nexila. For him, yeah. But I thought it was improved. I mean, he definitely was harder, I thought. He just didn't do as well as last year. He was 4th last year.
He was touch more conditioned this time, not majorly.
But what I'm saying,
I think this year's lineup was a little deeper, too.
Yeah, it's much deeper. I mean, there are guys that didn't make top 6. They look tremendous. Yeah. Big Cruz has tremendous back shots. I love all 3 that he does. Front double, then he lifts the arm, and then he does that Ronnie Coleman or Chris Cormier opening on 1, 2, 3 for lat spread with hamstring glutes and striated glutes like crazy. William looks very good, but he's a little narrow, so if it's lat spread for spreading wide lats and you don't have a width, you can win that shot. And Nathan is super competitive. In this shot, you can see the discrepancy, upper body, lower body, elongated waist, and he looks tremendous.
We have to applaud Will Bonnick, though. I mean, he's
still going.
He's kind of set the tone this year.
He's
done how many shows?
Most motivational, inspirational guy that keeps repeating this condition throughout the year. That's most incredible. Okay, here. Let's go from Nathan down.
Antonio. Wow.
Well, look at Bonnick.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bonnick, and this is actually his left side. He was always doing a right side.
Mm-hmm.
I guess something happened with the right triceps, so he changed it, and it looks tremendous. I mean, this moment when you just look at the picture there, you would judge differently than if you see it moving, and yeah, completely.
Yeah, Nathan looks good in this pose, too. It's like the Dorian Yates.
Best he ever hit that shot. Side triceps was not his shot. He has to be a flat stomach. I would hit intercostals as well. I would push that left shoulder out to gain even more width and striation on the left pec. And, even though I don't like this position.
No guts.
Yeah.
None.
No guts. None of them. Yeah, beautiful. Big Cruz has a, bikini waistline. Yeah. Like, he has nothing there. The stomach is so goddamn flat.
Is he just not a big structured guy? I wonder how he looked like before he started bodybuilding.
I mean, when you say not big structure, his shoulders are very wide, clavicles are wide.
Yeah, but I was big always, high school and everything. I just wonder what he was.
I said that before, and people are saying you're out of your mind. When you have a super small waist, you look like a small structured. When you have thick waist, that's a big structure. But small waist is a plus.
Jackson, how small he was when he started. I mean, he was a bantamweight.
Yeah. Tonio is new Dexter. That's no question.
I was just going to say, to me, my eyes keep going back to Tonio in this pose.
In a flatter chest, you can, if you look, the chest is flat, right? He did great with the abs and everything else, but he could pack on some more. And Nexila is absolute side poses freak. Side chest, side triceps, it's scary, you know. Okay, Nexila can do better ab shot because he has a deep abs. And as Danny said, when you have such a huge legs, maybe even your wide waist is not as noticeable because of difference. Tonio does good. I mean, he stands still, quads are separated, abs deep. Photo chooses this pose. He doesn't have a excellent ab shot. So whoever doesn't have an excellent ab shot, they modify it and do the either vacuum or this intercostal pose. William always does it. Now, leg positioning, I like it to stick my right leg like Nathan Diasha in front, because you can then hit the hip flexor and sartorius and separate your quads much more. In that position, I think your quad can separate the most. When you just slightly touch the ground with the ball of the foot and try to elevate hip flexor, everything pops. And especially if you externally rotate the knee, then you get the width, and then you can play with the quads. It's not feathered, like you preferred feathered. I mean, you were feathered even without locking, which doesn't make sense.
Genetics.
Yeah. You know, for me, I have to really
So it's 10 o'clock
lock.
training nights, you know.
10 o'clock at night. What did you do yesterday? What did you train? Like
Legs.
like CCA leg presses or the real man?
I did leg
squats?
I did seated leg extensions, so seated leg curls, one leg curls. I did
Okay,
flying hamstring curls. I did stiff-legged deadlifts, and I did walking lunges with a barbell on my back up and down the gym.
okay, so that's
Okay, and then I did quads. I did leg extensions, inverted leg press, squats, one leg press, and I did the what's that? That the hardest thing to do.
pendulum.
Pendulum.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was my leg workout.
Proper leg workout.
he did like 20 exercises. I was going to first say that was like Ashley Catweiser.
Kaltwalser.
Oh, I say okay. I
Hey,
can say
shout out
that.
to Ashley. She got her 52nd win.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, so I mean, I still did a lot of volume, but I just don't like for the pendulum. I only did a plate and a 10 because it's like as soon as I just want the tension. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
You never injure yourself, but I've seen your Instagram post because right now we are going, Chris Cormier and myself, over that leg press or any kind of squats.
Saw that.
So, and then I appreciate that post you put that the squats is the bread and butter. So any kind of
I
squats.
think if someone's lacking their legs and they don't have knee pain, the front squat ideally is the best. And I think if you put some 10s under your heels, it's even better because you cannot avoid working the whole leg, like the outer band and the teardrop.
Yeah. First we were saying keep your feet closer. Not
I think
wide.
I think bodybuilding has gotten wide. Stance, training, everything. Go back to the narrow shit.
So just imagine position in a leg press. You usually do it wider on the platform. Whoever does it.
Because the platforms have been getting wider and wider now.
Yeah.
Back when I started, the platform was this big. Do you remember how small the platform
Not
was?
that big. I mean, a little bit bigger.
Yeah,
yes.
but you didn't have the choice.
I just don't think that. Leg press is good exercise as an accessory exercise after you finish your bread and butter squats, some kind of squats. Hack squats for me it was the rule. There was not really pendulum squat back in the day.
There was not.
Yeah, there was that.
What about your favorite machine?
Hack squats are good.
The new tech hack press.
Well,
I'm saying this a million times. I'm going to say it 1 more million times. There is no better machine on planet Earth. Even those people that like presses, okay, this is hack press. It's a combination of hack.
I think you'd have to argue, though, because Paul Dillette didn't squat.
Yeah, but
Crazy legs.
a lot
Or
of
in
people,
case we use a Smith
he
machine.
didn't have a crazy legs. He had a good legs. He didn't have if you compare his legs to his arms were superior.
We need to get Paul on the podcast too.
Yeah. But can you develop it? A lot of people are saying, okay, but Dorian never squatted because he injured. Yeah.
He did Smith machine squats. Always.
Yeah. So you see, it is.
He had a bad hip.
Any kind of squat beats any kind of press anytime.
I don't think there's not one single pro that didn't do some sort of squats. Even Phil Heath squatted, right? I mean, he was more of a machine guy.
Towards the very, very end, I think he slowed down with it. But once he had the midsection.
But once you get the mass, you don't need to mess with it as much, probably.
Yeah, probably.
I'm saying that should be your core to get going, just like the bench press. I tell people to stay away from the barbell press. But listen, if you're going to go in the gym for the first time, I still think they should get under a barbell and bench press.
Absolutely. I mean,
but stick to more dumbbells as you develop the heavy mass. I think more dumbbell work is better.
I never had a chest workout without flat bench and inclines.
Still do incline press barbells?
No, I'm not a machine guy. I'm a 61-year-old machine guy.
They get on the incline sometimes and do.
I do occasionally, but.
But when your strength, 185.
When your strength is gone and you have a lady at the kilo that is like phenomenal. She squats and benches more than me and all this stuff. So I decided not to embarrass myself. This Victoria lady from, oh my God, she would hang with the 2.5 plates.
Six-pack chick.
No, that's not I trained her, but Victoria, I mean, I watched her and her husband. Her husband is a powerlifter. She squats like 3.5 plates.
Different person.
Different person. And Hunter and I were training, and like through the corner of the eye, you look in the mirror, like, what is this lady doing? She's putting 2 45-pound plates and a quarter. Okay, so that's 90, 115, 50 kilos, and does like 10 perfect pull-ups. Like, holy hell. I mean, not the jerking pull-ups, like full length, all the way down, all the way up. And ladies, maybe 130, 135 pounds. Anyway, so that's why I'm not bench pressing. Because she does more. She does 2 plates like nothing. And I can't really do 2 plates anymore. Anyway, as you know, right, he outbenched me. And
who, me?
You.
Easy. Not anymore. I don't know.
Okay, look at that. Look at
his
that.
Shoulders anyway.
Yeah.
That Ruse is great shot. This is his shot right here.
It's crazy shot, but on this video, you can't really appreciate it. I don't see much.
I saw that on the cover of a couple.
It is. So it's very deceiving. They're going to be only watching this video footage. They're not going to get really a good impression of this. But I think they're tremendous top 6. I think that this is
very good.
Probably most stack after the Arnold Classic in Pittsburgh show.
For sure.
In Pittsburgh, Martin placed third in front of William, but William gave him a run for the money. So that puts in perspective. William was just as good here. I think really this is his fullest that I've seen. And fullness with this kind of density is good condition, right? I think he nailed it. And Behruz still beat him.
So let's talk a little bit more about Behruz.
Yeah.
So he's standing next to, in this shot, obviously, Tonio's top 10. Williams got second. Nathan was top 10 at the Olympia twice.
Yeah.
Who is he going to have a tough time with standing next to? On the Olympia stage.
Samson is Samson. Samson is complete and so dominant in the leg department.
Yes.
2023, when Samson placed third at Olympia and went to Romania, Behruz gave him a major run for his money. And I do believe that in upper body, department, he beat him. But the Samson overcame Behruz on the completeness, on the leg development, and then balance, because then, every pose, if you judge the balance and then conditioning and shape and look, if balance is there first, balance is like probably the most important. So Becruz needed a little bit more volume. He still needs more volume to be a top Olympia guy. Becruz believes in this interview to RX Muscle, he said he can hopefully make a top 3. And he believes that.
He could.
I believe that too. But we would have to sit a little bit more on the legs. And, yeah. If he was
we
not
have a lot of
super
contenders,
flat,
guys. I mean, you have Samson, you have Hottie, you have Derek, you have Nick Walker,
and
you have
Andrew
Andrew Jack.
Andrew Jack.
Jack. It's tremendous. Listen. Yeah.
Who else am I leaving out?
In that top 6, well,
That's it.
the top.
Now you're going to have a
Brandon
Tonya
Curry.
there. You're going to have a Tonya there. So somebody knew he's going to qualify in Italy because the cruise is not coming. I don't know if Tonya is going, but I doubt. And I don't know who else is missing. You know, you and I discuss. There's not really great depth to the top 10 Olympians.
Once you get out of that top 5 or so, it's kind of like an open field.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, now Tonio's he could take a Hunter spot, for example.
Yeah.
But who else you got that's qualified? I mean, Brett Wilkin.
Yeah, Brett Wilkin.
He's in there.
Do we have a list?
Yeah, I'll pull it up.
Brandon Curry. There are rumors that Big Ramy is
That's
coming
right,
back.
Brandon Curry. We forgot
Brandon
about
Curry.
We forgot him. That's
Big Ramy might be coming back.
Sorry, Brandon. Yes, we forgot about Brandon. That's what we
Yeah.
left out. We keep forgetting about Brandon because it's like he
So
competed and then
far we got Brett Wilkin, Samson, Hottie, Derek, Raphael, Martin Fitzwater, Akeem, Brandon, Bonnick, Good Vito,
Oh yeah, good.
Andrew
Vito.
Jack, Nick Walker, Regan, Tonio, and
Oh,
Sasa.
there's some decent. So what about what's going on with the Brazilian guy?
Good Vito?
No, Raphael.
Rafael?
I don't know.
Oh.
He won.
What did he place last time?
He was in the.
Was he
did
top
he sit
6
out
or
Did
7?
he sit out?
Was he
last
was
year?
10th one year? Yes.
He was in
but when-
top 10.
He
But
was
did
top
he-
10
Did he
2020.
come last year and get top 6
Two.
or
2022, he plays top 10. Yeah. Ripped beyond belief. Yeah.
well, that's when
And-
Chris was helping him.
Yeah.
But didn't he compete since then?
Then he went to the Arnold Classic 2024.
Yeah, he was last year. It looks like he was said 5th through 10th, and this would have been 2024. It says Brandon, William, Akeem, Raphael Brandau, Tonio Burton. No, but that can't be right. That says 2024.
Why don't I remember? That was last year.
Yeah, it can't be.
Oh, yeah. Hold on. Rafael was competing. Yeah, for sure. He was competing, and he did make a top 10.
He was 8th last year.
8, yeah.
That's right.
Brandon.
So he competed after the Olympia last year and qualified, correct? That's why we haven't seen him.
Yeah, he qualified
But
in
he was-
he did a
Romania.
Brazil show.
But there was an injury.
Romania.
Was he an injury or something? Or
Yeah.
And then last year, let's see who else. We had Samson, Hottie, Derek, Martin, Jack, Hunter, William, then Raphael, Brandon Curry, Akeem, and then John Jewett.
well, yeah. I mean, we're talking where Bonnick is beating Tonio here,
Yeah.
so he's got to contend with him in the top 6, 7.
I'm telling you, William should not consider hanging it up. I mean, he's getting better. There's nothing old man syndrome like losing leg size. His legs are tremendous. Density is tremendous. Tissue is... I mean, did he look tired at all? This is like his 6th show. This is why all the experts, take some time off. You can't peak a million times. Ask Sasan and William what they're doing wrong
I
because
would
they're
agree
not
with
supposed
that
to
with
peak.
small guys, but big, huge bodies, it's a different ballgame.
It's no different. I know I was not big, huge guy, and maybe he's going to... Muscle is muscle, fat is fat, peaking is peaking. I do remember like one time when I was asking Hunter Labrada here in the gym, we were at Elevation, like, why doesn't he have his father help him? Also, it's different to peak 85-pound guy or 200 and 260. I said, what is the difference? Tell me. What is the difference? 260-pound guy is going to eat more, you know, to
the
have a
problem is everyone's overeating these days.
Yeah,
that's the issue. I was overeating. I listen. I know, because I was doing it wrong too.
But
and
because
that's why
you
I had trouble
running.
eating. Well, yes, because I was always like size, and you know, looking back full circle now, you know, the best advice I can give to these guys is like scale back. You don't need as much food. You know, bring it back to look at Betruz, right? I mean, you could have pushed him and popped him till he was ready to explode, but the condition wins every time. And if you have the level to compete at that at stages like that, if you're at that level, look at Rubio. He's just like tighten it down. I mean, like you said, I mean, what did Rami have to do to get to the Olympia and finally win it? I mean, 2013 was phenomenal. It took him till 2020 to win, or 21, or when did he win?
20 and 21.
So
20 and 20.
you know, it's just the food, man. The food has become so extraordinary in people's programs. This much meat and this much. It's way too much.
When Rami won the first time, that was probably the lightest he had been on stage in
years.
Time.
Yes, yeah. I do remember seeing him many times. Look, I keep repeating this. I'm going to say it one more time. People are listening, but they're not hearing. Food. You say, okay, we are overeating. Why are we overeating? Why more is better? More is not better. Protein has to be sufficient, and then the rest, calories have to be as required, as needed. Carbs, when you need carbs, the rest could be fat, but don't have a surplus. Why would you have a surplus? Eat what you need to eat when you need to eat. If constantly you have everything needed, amino acids constantly, yes. So body does not compromise. Your tissues get it. Everything get it, and muscle have it.
I just never knew. Didn't have an off switch. So when I went in the gym, it was like volume. And I feel like you burn a lot. So like you have to eat sufficient to be able to maintain that.
Okay. So eat sufficient. What do you think you burn during that training?
Oh, what I burn just
200
sitting,
grams of gas.
just sitting here, like just sitting when you have 280 pounds of lean mass.
Okay. Well, let's do some approximation. When you train heavy intense like you did, I would estimate top cap that you would burn would be 200 grams of carbs, either from glucose available or glycogen stored. 200 for a workout. Okay. The remaining is basic metabolic rate, physiological need of your body. How much carbs or fat do you need? Not that much. Your BMR is, let's say, 2,200, let's say 2,400 calories for easy calculation. That's 100 calories an hour. You're sitting and burning 100 calories an hour. 100 calories, how many grams of carbs? 25.
Well, remember there's cardio sessions going in there too, and training twice a day. You know what I mean?
So, yeah.
So that's what I mean. No off switch.
But that's why I say you eat according. You do the cardio, good, counted. You train, counted.
But I don't think anyone's training twice a day and cardio
nowadays?
Twice a day now on separate occasions.
Yeah.
4 times a day of different metabolism hit.
Yeah.
Because I would do cardio fasted, eat a meal, go to the gym, weight train, 5 hours later, go back, weight train again, do cardio 3 hours, 4 hours later, and 4 sessions total a day.
4 sessions, yeah.
A lot.
This is high caloric.
That's why you.
And I held on to a ton of muscle. I can tell you. So when you say, "Oh, overtraining this," I don't think if you can overtrain if you can only overtrain if you undereat and undersleep.
I agree.
And but you didn't have a problem sleeping at
Never.
all.
But
Some people do.
But you agree that overeating is much bigger problem than overtraining.
It is, yeah.
It is. Yeah.
How many times have you have a client said to you, "Oh man, and I know I was only supposed to eat but I ate overly."
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, of course. But you know why, people? I'm going to tell you. If you always eat what your body needs, you're never going to be like starved and hungry and craving and But you undereat at certain times or prolong. You have too much time, right? That you are deficient. Deficiency makes some compromises. The body needs it. If you never compromise, you always have it. You're not going to ever be hungry.
I was starving. I remember in my early days of training with Chris, I was starving.
Because Chris would starve you to death.
Yes, because he didn't love doing the cardio. It was just like a 30-minute easy cardio session and then the weight training sessions. But he literally, I remember like my meal after training was I would have a shake and one banana. That was it. Shake and one banana, meal 2.
Don't overdo it. Next time, have banana.
And then, you know, my protein was at like 8 ounces pre-cooked.
Yeah.
Pre-cooked.
Okay.
And then maybe like 40 carbs or whatever.
50 to 60 grams of protein per meal. Now, listen, I was a high protein guy. If you're going to overdo anything, overdo the protein. Oh, it's not healthy. It's dangerous for kidneys, all that bullshit. It's not a single study done on a toxic level of protein on healthy renal system. There's no such
The only
thing.
time it's dangerous is if you have kidney problems.
If you do, yeah. That's why you have to be careful. But I would overload the protein. Listen, 500 grams of protein a day, it's only 2,000 calories. But those are building calories. This is nutrients that is integrated into your tissue. It's different. It's not calories that we are planning
I
to
don't know if
burn.
you can listen to him. He is all torn up at 61, you know.
You're broke.
I'm broke.
Broken.
Shut up and say nothing. Don't eat protein.
I think what we need to do is put the camera on you and let you do the catwalk. So they can see how bad. Because I didn't realize that when he walked in, he was limping. I'd be like, "Hey, man, are you okay?"
Well,
because I just saw you I just saw you last Saturday, and you were fine.
I'm gonna have to lift my right leg into the car because I can't lift it. Hip flexor doesn't work. Abductor and rectus femoris is
Do you think it will
torn.
heal on its own?
That's what I was thinking. Okay, for a week, I'm not doing anything. Then I see it takes like 4 to 6 weeks. I say, oh. In the meantime, I have to go to the gym a couple of times. And
will you train with the people?
Aggravated. I'm going to train upper body myself, because what excuse of not training upper body if your leg is gone? Who cares, right? But I have to train people, yeah. I have a couple of people today, 3. And
Talk about the China Pro. What happened to John?
2? Who?
To John.
John who?
The Spanish kid.
Yuan Pardels, thank you for asking. Yeah. That was his big hope. I'm bummed that Yuan didn't do the Spanish pro with okay, wait.
These are just the top 2. I just got all I could find.
Wait a second. Yuan is in Spain. He should have done that Spanish pro. I'm still mad that he didn't do it. I don't understand it. So he planned to go to China. Maybe a lot of people were counting, hey, China is so far, nobody's going to go there, right? So it's going to be easier task. And now, 25 people showed up, and some tougher names. Yuan had all the food, which I'm reading. I didn't talk to him. I sent him messages. Cooked in Spain and took with him because he didn't know what to expect over there. And then I guess food was bad, and he got food poisoning. So he ended up pulling out of the show.
All right, guys, the new flavor Buzzin' Orange is available now. You can grab this over at jcutler.com. Make sure you check it out. We're having a sale right now. Liquid L-carnitine, 3,000 milligrams. You guys want to get that crazy metabolism boost? Let's go.
Okay. So going into the show, Andrea Presti would be a biggest favorite. Okay, Mohamed Al Imam was also Olympia competitor before, so you would think that they would be favorite. We didn't know about the Chinese bodybuilders. Cheng Yixing is one that I know and I work with, and he's very good. I think he placed 8 here. So, gentleman that he won, what is his name?
His name is Qinlong Shin.
Qinlong Shin. Incredible physique.
Yeah, ground.
From the picture that I'm seeing, of course, has a very good balance. Stronger legs than Andrea Presti. That's why he probably got the nod. Andre is always super ripped. And I don't know if this is just a bad picture. This is actually not even good condition for Andrea Presti, as ripped as he can get, but is still in better condition than I forgot the name.
Qinlong Shin.
Qinlong Shin. But Qing has a...
He's got great shape. Look at the quads.
V-taper.
Just not a lot of footage of this.
Do we have a side and back shots?
Yep. I got as much as I could get.
Yeah.
You have side and back side shots? Yeah. Oh.
I'm just going through each one of them.
I mean, here you see the last spread, Chinese guy can win because of the balance. Mm-hmm. Not on conditioning. On the balance and everything being proportionate. Width of the lats kind of comparable. Andrea is old wolf. He knows how to pose, but he still needs more in a lower department. Andrea's legs from the side always look much better and very comparable. And here, actually, his legs look better than a Chinese guy, right? Chinese guy does have a very thick, powerful chest, right? Mm-hmm. Who would you give this pose? I mean, there's an argument for both of guys winning.
I'd give it to Chin Long.
Yeah?
Yeah. He's got the thickness, the roundness, the shape.
It's pretty impressive, actually.
I wish I could have got a better back shot with him opening up, but
yeah,
he's got a great physique.
Yeah, it's the first Chinese guy to ever qualify for Open Mr. Olympia. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That means he is a rock star.
Yeah, he has to be.
There was a guy a couple of years ago.
Yeah, that was for a classic physique.
Classic, yeah.
It was never an open division. Yeah, this is first time. Andrea Presti does much better back double biceps. He has a crazy V-taper. Back double biceps is comparable.
Who's the guy that was living here?
That's
212, right?
No. Louis Cheng.
Yeah. What class was he?
It was open, and then he turned pro open, but then he started competing as a classic, which I didn't like. Lu Chen Hui. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Lu Chen Hui was a superstar that you cannot understand. Mm-hmm. He would have a small store appearance, and 3,000 people would show up. Yeah. You don't understand. I mean, the level of popularity. So I can imagine that he's going to be super popular all over China. Yeah. Conditioning didn't impress me on these pictures because maybe it's a low quality.
These obviously are horribly filtered, but it's the only side chest I could find.
Side triceps, you mean?
Yeah, I mean, sorry. There's a couple that are like this, but I didn't see any video
Good
footage.
Conditioning on Andrea, but Andrea is lacking triceps a little bit. And he turned around, so he lost even biceps in this shot, the way he poses. Chinese guy had the thickness, and I think he beat him on that balance and shape.
Great midsection. Quads.
The quads in the midsection.
Yeah. So Andrea's going to have another chance in Italy this weekend.
Is he doing Italy this week?
Yeah, he has to. I mean, the Italian guy, superstar in Italy.
Do you have the list yet, or
we don't have it?
No,
when does it come out?
It should be out right now.
Today or tomorrow, yeah.
Right now, maybe if you go on Nick Strength and Power, it's maybe already there. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see why Ching Long won. I understand.
I can see it too.
Yes.
Probably if show was in Italy, maybe Andrea would win. And I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything in any fixing, but it's just normal, right? You have a favoritism, then you get excitement, and then you have a crown behind you, and God knows what happened. We don't have a video for it.
Obviously, we weren't there, but Ching Long has really good shape, and it doesn't look like he's missing any body parts.
Nothing, yeah.
And how many guys are complete from head to toe nowadays? So I can understand why he would get the nod.
Yeah.
All right, we're out of this.
All right. I did have a athlete from Iraq going all the way there. Listen, it took him more than 48 hours to make it. He had to go on a bus, I don't know, for 8 hours somewhere, and then catch 3 flights.
What?
And, because that was right after these bombings and airports were closed.
Oh, okay.
And he made it, Salim Ali, and I do want to say he looked tremendous. And then he placed 7th, so he didn't understand real placing. I'm going to say this for everybody to listen. Salim tremendous bodybuilder. All the poses look tremendous, but in between poses, which I point out to him many times, you cannot relax, drop your shoulders, let your stomach out, relax your legs. You do the one pose and then you relax and then you set it up for a second and then you hit it and then you relax. And there's no such a thing. And judges can constantly capture, right there. This is why you lost. This is why you lost. So I told him, if Hadi Choopan had your body on that stage, he would have probably won, because Hadi does everything perfect. Doesn't give a microsecond of any relaxation, and everything is where it's supposed to be. That's how you're supposed to pose. Another thing that I've seen more and more, people go into the poses to hit the pose correctly. So side chest supposed to be whatever, but they're not actually focusing on showing that muscle. Side chest is supposed to show the muscle. Don't show the pose. Don't show the position, right? A lot of people are going into positions.
Well, they're so worried about their legs and everything else.
But everything. So each pose calls frontal biceps, lat spread. It calls for presentation, frontal, whole body, with emphasis on certain things. But they don't emphasize that muscle. And I've seen many times, I actually told a couple of guys the last 2 days, my athletes, he sent me the video, and I see he's just going into the pose. What happened with show me that pec, show me the chest, show me that one, right? He showed me the pose and position. Use every pose to show the strength of that pose for you, of your muscle, of your body that you have. It's not positioning. Oh, this is correct. That's why I even told Chris Cormier, sometimes correct for you is not correct for him, right? You put the feet this way, arms that way, shoulders that. No. How do you show your muscle the most?
Why, does he argue with you about that, or?
Yeah. I mean, Chris is master poser, but then he analyzes, for example, Becruz, and he would do differently. Or he was looking at Samson, as I was working with Samson, and he would do it differently, right? And he makes a lot of super valid points. And when you see Chris going through his posing routine, he was making the best out of physique that he had. But maybe that position wouldn't work exactly for everybody.
Shouldn't you do what makes you look best and do your best to hide weaknesses that you may have?
Absolutely. I'll give you an example. I was working with Max Charles, and I asked Chris to come and see Max Charles in the room. I'm his coach. I told him my views on posing, and then Chris comes to show him his views, and they were different, right? But have an open mind and see if you're comfortable doing it and if you look good doing it. I'm always open-minded. So Max actually didn't like the suggestions because it was just not him. I thought also Chris, I can't tell Becruz to change some pose just because I think I would have done it and I think it would look good, but he hits it and looks uncomfortable. And you know, when you look uncomfortable, you don't want to really do it.
I got a question. Do you ever look back at, let's say, a random year, 05 Olympia or 06, whatever, and look and go, damn, I could have hit that a little better?
Of course, yeah, because I had a stomach in 05, you know.
Or just, you know what I mean? And even though you're at the top of the game, but you still saw where you maybe made little mistakes.
Of course, you know, you can critique everything. That's why I'd sit at the table after and say, how can I be better than even though I won or what?
I don't see that you ever made any mistake in any pose, really. When I think about it, every pose that you did the most for your body. Front double biceps was always great. Lat spread, I think, also. Side chest was state of the art. Side chest was great. Back poses, I know that because you didn't have a glutes and you tried to bring them in, sometimes you maybe emphasize that Jay Cutler glute pose.
Do that.
Myself. But you didn't really have a side of glutes. I mean, you should have used
I was just
airbrushing technique of Chris Cormier. You know that he airbrushed his goddamn abs.
Yeah, I know, I heard him say that before.
You know, so If I knew, I should have put a couple of straight.
Well, I was just thinking, like, sometimes we'll watch guys and they're at the highest level and you'll go, damn, they could have done this a little better. So I was asking even you, is there a time where you look back and went, shit, I'm a master poser, but I could have done a little
many times.
more.
First of all, I realized in 93 when I got some video footage from the European tour, like, what was I doing? I had great abs, so I never had a even idea that I'm maybe not controlling them. And then I look from the side and I let it go here. I showed 70%, not 100%. And 100% would be a slam dunk, so I didn't do it. That's why glue your stomach to the spine. I tell everybody, that's the first thing you think at all times. If stomach is in, any angle you turn, it can go wrong, right? But when you're not, that's a big, big thing. Other thing is relaxing, dropping the shoulders, which you never had, and then relaxing the legs. Most of the people, when you say Paul Dillette has the great legs, Paul Dillette has the great legs for 2.7 seconds, and then he would lose them,
Well, I'm just talking about the shape.
Yeah, I know. But many people would keep the leg separation initially, and then you just watch the legs. They release it within seconds. They can't hold it. They don't have that, I can stay like this for an hour. Lat spread, a lot of people are not spreading all the way out. Ronnie Coleman, I think the front lat spread was not good. If you ask me, crazy Ronnie, right? He would do this.
Yeah, side tricep too.
Yeah, side triceps didn't do perfectly. He didn't angle himself. Kevin was master presenter. Sean Ray was phenomenal. I think flex wheeler. You can't find mistakes.
Guys that practice the posing a lot, was the ideal. That's the key.
I think modern times, I just always look at Hadi and it just robot goes exact.
So somebody was actually arguing with me on Instagram today as I put on the primetime muscle that Hadi is an absolutely master poser. He captures your attention. He brings that energy, demands that you look at him and let me show you this, let me show you that, let me show you that. Any angle, you're just glued to his movement. What is he showing? He doesn't maybe have a posing routine of Sean Ray and Lila Brada and some choreographed beauty, right? That we're going to talk about it. But everything he does on the stage is, oh my God. Everything makes sense. Sequence of poses. Succeeding poses have to make sense. You can do 3 poses that don't go together one after another. Right?
He's confident. You can see it.
Confidence.
The guys around him know he's confident.
You know why? Because he loves posing. He loves presenting. How many times do you hear pro bodybuilders? I mean, I'm going to use James Hollinsted because he said, I don't like posing. Oh, maybe you're in the wrong sport. On the stage, you're not going to lift weights. You're not going to squat. You're going to pose, right? And that has to be done, rehearsed 1,000 times before you actually step on that stage. That's why I'm pissed off. My guys send me the posing, and then instead of, going to the right, they go to the left. And they do the side chest and they do the side triceps. On the stage, you're not going to do side chest, side triceps in that sequence. You're going to do exact order, and you have to do in that exact order. So now if you do it 1,000 times, your body automatically goes in. You know when to inhale, when to exhale, how much to rotate, where to stand, when to put the weight on.
So they don't do the poses according to the call outs?
No. I mean,
just make up their own.
If you ask anybody right now, okay, pose, they might, I know that I'm supposed to do the frontal biceps. Okay. And then they're going to, and they start that, and they're going to relax completely and all this shit. And then they're going to, greet you with their, lat spread, and then going to honor you with the side chest at the time they're ready. There is no disruption in between the one pose, second pose, third pose.
Yeah, the transitions.
There has to be 3 minutes of flow. And you have to look as good in transition that you look in a pose. So as I was saying to my athlete, Salim Aliyah, now you're going to be watching this when you go back to Iraq. He said, what can he improve? Is that if there is no posing, then looking down. I think I said here, the blessing of a Libra was looking down in the floor.
Yeah.
Looking down is a sign of amateurish. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm here. I'm listening to commands, and I'm going to, in the meantime, mind my own business. Stage presence, eye contact with the judges of the audience, be alive all the time. There's no relaxing on the stage, for the love of God.
I agree.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what sport it is. If you see the best people in the world, I don't care if it's basketball, football, whatever it is. If a basketball player, they do 1,000 shots a day. They're the best shooter in the world. They still do 1,000 shots every single day. So guess what? When it's the fourth quarter and it's the last second, it's automatic because you've done it. Same with posing.
John Jones was saying something. I guess he had an injury in one of the fights, but he was still hitting with broken arm or something. He was still hitting because his mind automatically, this combination, boom, 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 that it goes. So you throw even your broken arm, because you did it 1,000 times. Yeah. We have 8 mandatory poses. Ooh, that's like so difficult. No, Jesus Christ, I mean, I'm serious.
Yeah.
They make like this is an effort. I don't like it. What is it you don't like? You're in the wrong sport. You're supposed to, when you go on the stage, you're supposed to reflect that you want to be there and you have something to show us.
Yeah.
Okay? They actually just work it off because they have to. Like, okay, let me do this for you. You're not doing it for me. You're doing it for you, man.
I've said this before and I've gotten flamed for it. Bodybuilding is not a sport. It is muscle modeling. If you're not comfortable with showing what you have, like you said, you're in the wrong sport.
The part of the presentation is muscle modeling or whatever you want to call it.
But that's what counts, though, isn't it?
It's not really physicality, but it's a big-time sport preparing for it.
There's competition. Yeah. Same mentality as any other sport.
Hey,
but
if Jay and I take you through the 3 rounds of posing, you're in no shape for it.
I don't think we need to do that. I don't want to be a meme.
Yeah, we're going to put the tank top on you, so don't worry about it. It's hard. Listen.
All right, no. I never said it was easy. I'm just saying that is what you're doing. You're killing yourself in the gym to show that on stage.
I tell you, back in the early 90s, there was a friend of mine that said, you bodybuilders are not athletes. You can't do shit. I said, okay, let me shoot the 36 film roll of you posing, okay? Yeah. And then I look, okay, front of biceps, abs, legs, okay. And then I took purposely a lot of times. He couldn't finish 36 shots. He died in the meantime. It is hard.
Because they're not used to it.
To flex every muscle in your body and make it look good and separate it. It's still physical.
I never said it wasn't. I'm just saying the whole point is everything you do. But even professional models is not simple. Especially if you haven't done it, but everything you do in the off season, getting ready for a show, is for what you present on stage.
Yeah.
So you have to love that and you have to master that.
Okay, let me ask you, Jay, who out of the top 10 Olympia competitors loves posing that you can catch this, that you
Melvin
felt
Anthony.
it? Oh no, that's a long time ago. Right now.
Two names come to mind for me. Samson and Hadi.
Yeah. I knew.
Yeah. Samson loves it. You can tell he's excited for it.
Exactly.
You can see the movements and you can see it's going.
He's all into it.
Yes.
He could pose all day long.
I think Nick to a certain degree, but he's not as smooth as Derek and
Andrew Jack loves it.
Yeah, Andrew Jack poses. But still, you cannot see that he loves. Samson loves it, and Hadi loves it.
You could see
for sure.
Samson gets excited to pose. In the transitions, you can see it too.
Nick is excited to freak you out.
Yeah.
Okay? And he would do just his mandatories and freak you out. But it's not into the posing. Samson goes into all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. You can tell he puts time into it.
Yeah.
Even the transitions, everything.
Are we forgetting anybody? Derek works it nicely. He presents it. He still doesn't show me that he loves posing. Until you fall in love with posing, you're not going to know exactly the difference. You know what I mean? But it comes, it's narcissistic if you pose. Hey, you are in this kind of sport. Take this narcissism out of equation. Your job is to present your physique to your best abilities, and you have to love it. You have to show us that you love it.
Did you love posing?
No.
See, but right away you didn't. Yeah.
Love the training. Never enjoyed the stage.
You sold me on that one. I've seen you guest posing in San Francisco and all that stuff.
I guess wasn't different from competition, no.
I was still posing.
You love getting that check.
No, listen.
Just like the crowd response,
Crowd response. Yeah. You enjoy yourself on the stage. You love posing. All your crazy shots, the thing that you do. Yeah, you don't love posing.
I like the training. That's what I love,
Still like training.
Yeah.
I fall asleep.
Here's a prime example. If he loved posing, don't you think he would still do it at home on a regular basis? Just to do it?
The day I quit, I stopped looking at myself. No. I don't pose.
He still trains every day.
I think he poses more than me.
No, because I guarantee you pose.
I don't pose.
Yeah, right. You're full of shit.
I swear to God.
You know, when you're in the bathroom, you go, look at this.
I check out my abs, because and a little bit of these,
Because you go when no one's around, you take your shirt off. Look at how it looks.
Just a couple pictures of you.
No, I'm not. Now you're gonna say I'm full of shit. I did not know what I looked like until January before birthday when I made that video. I actually shocked myself. Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to get praises on anything because I don't. I mean, what is to look at?
You weren't really training, which was surprising.
I didn't deserve to look that.
I don't think you train that hard consistently because for a while you're like, are you training? You're like, no.
Yeah, I know. But
you're as consistent as Matt is.
I'm sure.
His wife leaves town. It's the only time he goes to the gym.
His biceps pose at least like 50 times in front of him.
Well, they're triceps
and triceps are the calves. Yeah.
Doesn't show.
You don't want listen. I've already showed you my ab shot.
Still have trauma from that,
fortunately for me, my physique does not pay my bills, or I'd be homeless.
You should just put your face on the Buddha statue, and it would be accurate.
Yeah, but at least it's famous. No, but that one's like a hard stomach. Mine's fluffy.
Okay. Anyway.
Anything else?
No.
Before we get canceled?
Yeah. So, overall impression for Becruz. You see him in the press call out. What would you give him suggestion now coming from you, Jay Cutler, to Becruz?
Not to pop his legs like he does.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little distracting.
A little
bend
bending?
down. Yeah. He needs to just stop doing that.
Okay, so a lot of people commented on that one. Okay. Because it's not common. I have comments, that it pisses me off when he does it.
You know what I think?
He sets it up.
I know, but he sets it up, but there's not a lot happening.
Yeah, but this is the way how then he engaged his lateralis and hip flexors, and then he get in the position. I know what he's doing.
I understand what he's doing.
But
it's his mental way of doing it.
But why is just because this is ordinary, and that's how it's supposed to be, and everybody does it. When somebody does it differently, I don't like it. He over pumps, like he dips. This way. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Well, he's gonna hear what you think.
His English is getting better, which is
getting
good.
Better.
It's dramatically better. Yeah, dramatically better. I saw him a year ago, and his English from then till now is night and day.
Yes, Becruz is literally.
We have to plot on that for sure.
Literally.
So hopefully he can get his visa,
yes,
and then we can sit him right there.
Monday, today, I actually already sent it to a lawyer, all the information with the score sheets. Now he is officially qualified. Because that one more interaction with immigration was they needed a couple of contracts that they're getting and a list of competitions that he plans to enter next year. Now he's qualified for Olympia, so now he can put Olympia on a list, right? So far we were hoping for it, but he didn't really get invitation or qualification for the Olympia.
Well, he's qualified now. I'm sure they can get the letter for him.
Okay,
if it's in advance.
Let me run this by you. Now, Chris Cormier asked what I think. So I'm going to ask you. So far, there was always qualification for the Olympia, and then we had cases of too many people qualified. What if Federation does invitation out of people that formerly qualified, but they invite people like Arnold Classic invites for the Arnold Classic? Cream of the crop. I didn't think it was a bad idea. So, like, you know, Chris, maybe you have something going there.
They'd have to have I think they would have to have some type of system to make sure that there's a justified reason why you left somebody out.
If you have a 60-plus competitors in other categories.
For the other divisions.
Oh, other divisions. There was 30-something at one Olympia.
I thought you meant for open.
Also for open, there was 30-something 2022, right? 2022, I think.
It might have been.
Yeah.
There's 16 right now.
Yeah. Oh, well. Anyway, that was his idea, not mine, so don't judge me. If you think it's stupid, it's Chris's stupid idea, not mine.
They could have a committee and say we're picking the top 20 people that we think for whatever reason. Or maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
They have to figure out something.
Mr. Politically Correct would never answer anything politically.
I don't understand what you're asking.
So people qualify for Olympia, right? Chris says sometimes it's too many qualified, and maybe Federation will still have a right to choose who they're going to invite out of those qualified.
So essentially, here's a stack of 30 people that qualified. Like the Arnold as a committee, who they pick, they'll say, you have to pick from these 30 people, narrow it down to 20.
Thank you.
Even if you want to show, you may not get in.
I need a translator for my kind of English.
I understood what you meant.
Okay, yeah.
The hard part is, look, it'd be easier for those other divisions, for the other divisions, because there's 50, 60 people.
He still didn't understand.
No, I don't understand. What are you talking about, Barus?
No. In general.
Why would you even It's up to the organization. There's no one that deserves a special invitation.
No. He's not talking about special invitation. He's saying, okay, you know how the Arnold Classic, you
drink
apply.
Coffee? Here's a Serbian coffee.
No.
You need to wake up.
So you go into the Arnold Classic and you have to apply. They have 100 people that apply for it. The Arnold Classic says we're picking these 12 people.
Yes.
That's who we're inviting.
Yes.
What Chris is saying is, you qualify for the Olympia. The Olympia committee says these are the 30 people that qualified.
That's what they do.
Select the top 15 that you're allowing to compete. Just because
they only
you want to show.
12 at the Arnold.
Yeah. So just because you qualified, you might not be good enough to make the stage.
I mean, Martin didn't get invited the one year, and he was disappointed about that.
No. He's talking about the Olympia. So the Olympia, say, for example, they got 60 guys in
yeah, but there's way too many as it is. You should only have the top guys in the world.
Yes, that's what they're saying. And if
they don't qualify.
No. If there's 60 guys that qualify for men's physique, they should have a committee say, narrow these down to the top 20.
About the other the smaller divisions.
Yes, the men's open is
it's
always around.
Okay, I thought you were talking about men's open.
I started with the men's open.
No,
that's the whole idea.
The other divisions, no, it's ridiculous. The way they're doing it is absolutely ridiculous.
So
there's way too many shows. They're giving way too many qualifications, way too many pro cards. It's up to Pittsburgh to sort out the mess.
Okay. So for other divisions,
it's a disaster.
You see that it's too much, and maybe you have a 60 qualified for Olympia, but you're gonna pick
have a
15.
Committee pick 15. A committee say whatever. These are the guys that are the best.
But that's not fair either.
I know it's not.
It's not fair.
It's bullshit. Honestly,
it's not fair. But
how are you going to tell people you qualify, but you're not
should have.
They should have something where they have to. There's a certain number of shows. Since there's so many damn shows, they should have it a qualifying show, and others be like, okay, you have to almost do like a point system where you have to win 3 or something.
Realistically, the point system.
It's going to get to this point. Mark my words. They're going to have to figure it out.
Yeah.
Because they keep opening up more and more shows, and we got more and more winners. And eventually, Jake Wood,
can't afford it.
He can't afford it because you just lose too much money.
What's going to happen? $1 million. Someone mentioned this the other day. If they brought the show, I was watching them argue online. If they brought the show to Dubai, imagine if he had to pay for all the travel. Because the vast majority are from the United States. Yeah. All the travel and hotels.
They are getting money from the promoters. Each promoter kicks in. Yeah. But the problem is who knows how much those expenses weigh in on some flights are more money. I mean, there's per diems.
They do have to figure out a way to where when you get to the Olympia, you're one of the top 20 people in the world or top 15. I don't know what that is. Whatever it's going to be, it's not going to be fair. But
it's just like
there's too many.
Listen, it's all blending because when you have an Arnold Classic champion in all these divisions, I won the Arnold Classic. Oh, you did? Yeah, men's physique. The Mr. Olympia now has watered the name down.
Yep.
So now Mr. Olympia, I'm Mr. Olympia. There was only one. Now there was a 212, and then there was a men's physique, and then there's classic, and
I've always said this, and I know people get pissed. There's only one Mr. Olympia right now. It's Samson. The other divisions, you're not Mr. Olympia. You are the winner of your division at the Olympia. And if you don't like it, go beat Samson.
Do you remember they used to call it the 212 Showdown Champion?
Yeah.
Do you remember?
100%.
What happened to it with that name?
They switched it.
And it became what?
The 212 Mr. Olympia. I just think there's only one Mr. Olympia. But
not our show, not our choice.
Because by definition, what is Mr. Olympia?
That means you're the best bodybuilder in the planet.
Exactly. It can only be one.
There's only one. There's only one.
I
If
agree.
you're the best of your division, you're not the best of the world.
Yeah.
If you're the best in the world, go to the division that has zero restrictions. There's no governor. There's no height. There's no nothing. Just go wide open. That's the best.
Yeah. Even though that was interesting before, they had Arnold and Franco, fighting at the heavyweight and lightweight Olympia champion. 6 years in a row they did it. 4 out of 6 times lightweight winner won, Frank Zane and Franco Colombo. So out of 6 times that heavyweight Olympia champion, which was Mike Manzer, Robbie Robinson before, they're Mr. Olympias. You see? They're Mr. Olympias. They won the division.
They won the overall.
Okay. So is Mike Manzer Mr. Olympia? Is Robbie Robinson Mr. Olympia? Never, right? But they won heavyweight class, but then they lost to the
So you're saying the
lightweight.
212 should compete against Mr. Olympia?
I think they should.
Maybe there's disruption there.
I mean, realistically,
No, listen. They
look at
should.
the top two. Listen,
Is
the
this the
top
same-
212 guys are
Hold on a second. It's
doing
the same
damage in the
sport.
open.
It's the same sport, right? It's the same sport.
Yeah,
Same judging.
But it's not fair to go back to the classic and men's physique and bikini and all this stuff that you have that many people because it's just hard to compare all those people.
I was just saying to make a point. Like you said, there's only one Olympia. So Robbie Robinson and Mike Manzer, back in the time, they won Mr. Olympia in their class. And then they lost for overall Mr. Olympia title. You never hear them say, I'm Mr. Olympia. Right?
The guy who won the 212, the smaller class, but they should have been.
They lost to Frank Zane and they lost to Franco Colombo.
Then Frank Zane and Franco Colombo at that time should have been Mr. Olympia.
They were Olympia, Mr. Olympia.
Yeah, guys who won the Open shouldn't have been.
The point that I'm trying to say, Robbie Robinson and Mike Manzer won on Mr. Olympia their division, but they lost overall.
See, and in my opinion, whoever won that overall, then they were the best bodybuilder in the world.
They were. That's why they consider Frank Zane 3 times Mr. Olympia and Franco Colombo twice, and Robbie Robinson and Mike didn't. Yeah. All right.
Anything else?
No. It took you 10 minutes to explain to Jay.
No. He understands now.
Yeah.
Because
I didn't know we were going to talk about the other divisions.
No, because at one year there was like 30 guys in the Open, but
36, I think.
Yeah, that was a lot. That was the one time.
Yeah.
But
that was with the point system. That's why they got rid of the points, I think.
Yeah.
But you know what's crazy? Why not? If you had a point system now, you'd say just because you win a show doesn't mean shit. Unless you win the Arnold or you're a former Mr. Olympia, then you could say, hey, the point system works. Win.
Then no one would go do those shows. That's the problem.
Or a guy would go, I'm going to go do China, Italy, whatever, and I'm gonna stack up 30 points, and hopefully I'm in the top 15 with those 30.
Yeah, too many contests.
One second. I just want to see how many people. Okay. Oh, there's top 16, and then everybody else was 17. Hold on. And how many 17s? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
It means 29.
29, okay. I slightly exaggerated. Okay.
That's still all
As
right.
always.
We're out.
All right.